Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Flawless Fatherhood. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the huge mistake that Jeezy made in his custody battle with his soon-to-be ex-wife, Jeannie Mai. Okay? Listen, these are my opinions. These are my standpoints, my observations, based off real-world experiences. Stay tuned. Okay, so we all know about the ongoing divorce and the proceedings between Jeezy and his soon-to-be ex-wife, Jeannie Mai, regarding their young daughter that they shared together within their marriage. All right, so they're heading for a divorce. Now, first, when Jeezy initiated the divorce, he was going for split custody, shared custody, equal custody, whatever verbiage you want to put behind it. He was asking for joint physical custody. All right. So that was it from the get-go. Then you have Jeannie Mai not wanting the divorce to go through, wanting to enforce prenups and all this other hoopla, right? But we're not talking about money here because this platform is all about the time-sharing aspect. Well, regarding the kids, involving the mother and father. So at first there was joint custody that he was pushing and lobbying for. Then he actually recently went up to say, hey, he was seeking full custody. That he was trying to, because he felt that's what it was being reported, that he was actually seeking full custody because Jeannie Mai was not there enough in being involved with the child, and that the child was being nannied and the mother was keeping him and everything else. On top of the fact, Jeezy also reporting and saying that he hasn't had access to the child as he was intended on from the get-go. Okay? Now here's the problem with this, in my perspective. Jeannie Mai left the marital home with the child. Okay? That's a mistake that a lot of fathers make. Okay, yes, you get praise. Okay, I divorced her. It was a bad situation. I did what was right before without stepping out or anything like that. But here's the key. We talked about the 5 flawless fatherhood factors for husbands, right? What is it? Number 1 is what? Don't leave the marital home. What was number 2? Does anybody know what number 2 is? Okay? Number 2 is what? All right? You guessed it. It was don't allow the wife to take the child from the marital home. This is a mistake. You have to do all 5 of the flawless fatherhood factors for husbands. And Jeezy was a husband. Well, still is actually. First one was don't leave the marital home. A lot of husbands leave the marital home. Once you leave the marital home, they're gonna the other side, the mother's side, is gonna see it as abandonment. You're you're walking out of the child's day-to-day life and activities. Trust me, I know, because I was used that in my divorce proceedings in 2006 when my then wife left the home and I didn't allow her to take the kids. That moves into number 2, not allowing the wife to take the child out of the marital home. Once you do that, guys, once you do that, husbands, in this particular sense, because we're talking about a married couple, what you're essentially doing is giving away your rights. By your actions, yes, you're still the custodial parent through contract and marriage, right? But you're giving away your rights because you're by allowing the mother to take the child out of the home and establish residency in the day-to-day activities somewhere else. Okay? That's basic. And it's all about overnights. Overnights. I don't care how many, you can see your child 60 times in a month. I don't care. And I know a month's only got like 30, 31 days, but I don't care. You can see double times per day. You can see your child. It's about overnights. So if you're surrendering overnight, you're essentially giving up your rights and the day-to-day routine with the child. Okay? So and that was the big mistake Jeezy did. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go back to that in a second. Number 3, so number 1 was don't leave the marital home. don't allow the wife to take the child from the marital home. Number 3, initiate the divorce. Number 4, get a restraining order if it calls for it. Number 5 is to keep your hands and your face clean, meaning don't give her any reasons. Don't go out there and getting a DUI, any type of assault things, getting arrested, any type of nonsense that may serve negative against you in court and in the custody battle. You do those 5 things, I don't see how a husband does not at least come out with 50-50. I'm serious. I believe you do that. You allow the wife to make the mistakes that most men make. Because when women want to go, they want to go. It's in them, in their nature to want to take the kids. But I'll be honest with you, not to say they don't love their kids, but a lot of times they take the kids because they feel they have to. Not because they really want to. And I don't want this to come off as if mothers don't love their kids. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that they do it out of just reaction/default, okay? Because if you really didn't want to leave your kids, you'd be like, screw it. I'm going to stay in this house until we get a divorce and let the court settle it. But sometimes people want their freedom so bad, or whatever they're chasing, that they'll leave their children in the house, even women as well. Same thing that happened in my divorce. I did not allow my wife to take the kids from the marital home. She wanted to leave, and I held the kids back and said, no, they're not going, while the police officer was there. Both of the police officers that I actually called, initiated the phone call as well. You have to get out of your own way, men. Listen, this is not saying, you're advocating for violence or anything, but it's basically a war on our kids. It's a war on our children. The system has set up and designed things. So guess what? We have to be strategic. We have to lay out a plan. Tactical warfare. We have to do that in order to secure our children. Or else you're going to be an every other weekend parent, and your daughters and your sons are going to grow up without you with the influence of a malicious mother and vindictive other parent. And you don't want that. So going back to number 2 was, Jeezy's big mistake was allowing Jeannie Mai to take their daughter out of the marital home. He should not have allowed that. Now, how can he stop? He said he hasn't seen her as much, right? As much as, that's the reporter, he hasn't been seeing her as much as he wanted to. As much as she's keeping him away, guess what? When you finally get him, if it was me, that's what I do. Once I went, if I'd have got her, guess what? Now she's with me. Since you want to play games and you don't want to adhere to a schedule that we made, guess what? She'll be staying with me. Okay? And then whenever you come get them, if you don't want to operate by the rules, I'll show you a little something. You can't put, now obviously if he was going for full custody or going for the majority of the time, because if he felt that Jeannie Mai was too busy, and I would guess that she is. She seems like a business-oriented lady. She has, she has business stuff, and she has people working up under her. She's a boss bee, So I don't know exactly what Jeezy does outside of rebranding and, doesn't really rap as much as he used to. So, hey, you should, if you're going for wanting to get full custody or majority of the time, if you're willing to do that, then you should have did it from the top, to be honest with you. But why downgrade? That's his thing. But not to get too far into that, I just believe and know that it was a huge mistake when he allowed her to take out the marital home. Because as men, we're programmed. As husbands, fathers, we're programmed. Oh, well, the kids got to go at the wife, go at the mother, and we'll just fight for it in court. But when you're doing that, she already has an advantage. Look how long these divorces take. They're still not in front of a judge to date, from what I understand. So all this time, she's getting all these more overnights than Jeezy. All those more overnights. And the courts are going to look at that more likely than not, and they'll make their decision based off that. Now, here's another thing. So understand, it's very crucial. Do not allow the wife to take the child from the marital home. Okay? Hey, and I'm going to keep it a stat. Even you women are like that. You might not want to let that, if you don't want to lose, because listen, I know you guys don't believe it, but women get shafted too. They do. So don't allow the husband to take the child out of the marital home. I mean, granted, you don't want to get in no fisticuffs and grab him, but hey, do what you got to do. Because if you let the other parent establish, but I'm saying that because in favor of the small percentage of women that do, get the neck bad in the stick, but we know for the most part it's men. Listen, it's not, I swear to you guys, it's not a science. It's not a science. But we just have to get out of our own way. You can't continue to do what everybody else does, thinking, oh, that can't happen to me. Oh, yes, the hell it can. I know, I used to think that too. Oh, my marriage couldn't fail. This couldn't happen to me. That couldn't happen to me. Okay? So I've done the hard work for you guys. Now, there's no reason why anybody watching this video or watching this channel to where if you have your children and you end up losing your children by hook or crook some type of way, that's your fault. Because the answer to being able to submit your child, no matter what happens in their life, 50-50 at the very least, if you actually execute the things that I educate men on this program and on this platform, you won't lose your kids. But you do have to get out of your own way and set your ego aside. Jeezy's big, huge mistake was allowing Jeannie Mai to take their daughter out of the marital home, because now she's establishing day-to-day routine and just piling up more overnights, more than Jeezy. That was the mistake. He's a custodial parent. You can go, guess what? You can go and get the kid. You have just as much rights. That's one of the few things about being married that you actually have a benefit, because as soon as the baby comes out, boom, both of you guys have equal custody of the child. Both of you, both mother and father, husband and wife, are custodial parents. It's not like that in unwed parenthood when a child is born. The mother is automatically the custodial parent, and the father is the non-custodial parent. That's why, what do we do, right? The 30-day rule. That's why I implore single fathers, that unwed fathers, to establish paternity, establish legal paternity as part of legalizing your rights. Just establishing paternity and getting a joint custody agreement with the mom. And that puts you on the same plane, and both of you guys through that agreement will be custodial parents. Now, she just can't say, oh, I'm taking the kids and I'm leaving. Oh, you can't go to their school and check their records. Oh, you can't do that. It takes away the power. So that increases the probability of that child growing up with both parents equally. And whenever they break up, they do their own timeshare and understand, because you already had an agreement from the get-go that both of you will raise the child equally growing into adulthood. We talked about that before in the custody agreement. We'll talk about that some more. But just understand, do not leave that marital home. Married fathers, don't do it. Hell, I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't allow the wife to leave the marital home, but also don't leave the marital home as well. It's very simple. It's not a science. Trust me on that. I hope it works out for Jeezy. I want Jeezy and Jeannie Mai to have split joint physical custody with their daughter, because that would be the best thing for her. I don't care if she's a girl. I don't care if she's a boy. 50-50 joint physical custody is where it's at. Okay? I don't want to hear the broken homes, this and that. Listen, a child does not need to see two parents living together that aren't loving on each other, that aren't happy with one another. That's just going to cause so much emotional damage to that child. That child needs to feel loved on both ends of the spectrum. It doesn't matter if they're living in different homes, and a bunch of love is being poured off into that child. You want the child to be walking around here seeing friction, hearing arguments and cursing and stuff? No, that is not healthy. But guess what? They stayed together. Stupid. Don't freaking allow the freaking wife to leave with the marital home. Don't leave the marital home. Initiate a divorce, initiate a divorce and get a restraining order if need be. I got one. Can't put your hands on me when we especially when we going through court. No, I'm gonna use that. And keep your hands and face clean, guys. It's simple. Flawless fatherhood, where you hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I love you guys. I'm trying to make a difference. Look, these are my experiences, and trust me, nobody ain't spitting that real like here at Flawless Fatherhood. Nobody's doing it. I'm in the business of getting down to the root of the problem, not treating the symptoms by spraying the leaves. No, educate men as they come through, so then they'll know, okay, look. But so many men are, they'll protect their money, right? They'll protect their business, but they won't protect their child. Oh, I'll chance that. Stupid. They're more likely to lose it. See you on the next video. Flawless Fatherhood. Let's go.